The first 15 minutes of the first episode and the last 5 minutes of the second episode were the best part of the whole show. I mean the first 2 episodes. But there's still a few negative points about the show and we'll discuss everything about it. But let's start with the first very nostalgic shot of Nelson, Murdoch and Paige. We see all of our 3 main characters stepping out of it, and it's a very nice, very lovely moment seeing all of them there. They're discussing about themselves, they're discussing about past, future and everything that has happened. And it's a very sweet moment. It's a very sweet start to the series until it's not, and we kind of figure out that it's all a decoy to just get Daredevil out of that zone and just expose the 2 other friends, Foggy and Karen. And then Bullseye shows up and he just takes revenge and kills Foggy. And let me tell you, the whole sequence where where Daredevil is just beating the shit out of Bullseye at the top of the building, and at the bottom he can literally sense that Foggy is dying. That was peak of both the episodes. The best part of the first 2 episodes happened there, but because we all know Daredevil doesn't kill, and he was in so much anger, and finally he just pushes Bullseye down from the roof and he doesn't die. He doesn't die, and I was really looking closely to that. Does he die? Because Daredevil doesn't kill. And if he is killing someone here, he's just completely changing the whole landscape of his whole character. But thankfully that didn't happen. And then he was taken into the police. But we have to talk about some of the poor CGI that we got to see during that fight. Not even during that fight, but the point where Daredevil was going to Foggy's place, chasing someone. That whole CGI where, he's flying. We just didn't see that in the original Netflix show, because if you remember, one of the things which made that show very great was it was grounded. We can feel that this is not a superhero, this is a vigilante. He is a normal guy who wants to do justice, who wants to do good, but he doesn't have the superhero abilities strength wise. And that is what kept that show grounded. That was one of the things that kept that show grounded, but that didn't really look to be the case in that fight scene that we saw. And not the fight scene, but the point where he was chasing after someone. It didn't really look cool. Absolutely not cool. And again, one of the things why the Netflix show was so popular was the action. The grounded action, the brutal action, the bloody action, and one-take action sequences. There were a lot of one-take action sequences there, and we got to see it right in the first scene, right in the first fight sequence. But it wasn't one of the best. It wasn't. I was so happy to see the one-take action sequence, because if you have seen this channel, you know that I so love the one-take action sequences. But this time, everything just didn't feel like a great one-take action sequence. It was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. It was not great, or I should say that it didn't live up to the level that the Netflix show actually had. So yeah, that was one of those things which I felt about that action sequence. But the end of the action sequence was just breathtaking. There's this whole dilemma with Matt Murdock. His friend is dying down and he's fighting the guy, his nemesis, everything that was going on, and it was just brilliant first 15 minutes of the show. But now let me tell you some of the behind the scenes here. Foggy is dead. We think he's dead. But there are still a few rumors that Foggy will return in season 2. How? Don't ask me. Don't ask me how he's going to return. I don't know. But there are rumors that he may come back in season 2. And so does Karen. Karen will also come back in season 2. We might see her in this season as well, but only time will tell. But anyways, if you think Fogg is dead, I think he'll come back in season 2 as per the rumors. Now there's another thing that I have to address. Now you all know that the Netflix series was cancelled because Daredevil was brought into the MCU, but then before the writer's strike last year, or in 2023, I guess, I don't remember exactly. Yeah, so whenever the writer's strike happened, at that time we got to know that the first 4 episodes or 5 episodes were shot, but the people at Disney and Marvel, they didn't like it. And one of the reasons was that the tone was completely different from the Netflix version. And then also Matt Murdock goes through a tragedy, and therefore he gives up on becoming Daredevil. So Daredevil's identity is now only Matt Murdock. He's no more Daredevil, and he doesn't even put on the suit until the 4th episode. Now that was one of the things that they didn't like, so therefore they scrapped it. Then they had that whole creative overhaul. They brought Foggy and Paige back. They brought everyone back, and just made this show in line with the Netflix show, but also being in the MCU. So they did all of those things. But now if you think about it, In the first 2 episodes, Matt Murdock has only donned the suit in the first 15 minutes of the first episode, and a tragedy happens. He gives up on becoming Daredevil. He's now just a lawyer. So it's different, but not very different kind of a thing. But anyways, I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, I'm still happy where this show is going. And then we have Bullseye sent behind bars, and we see the final conversation between Karen and Matt Murdock. Now after that conversation, we can see that Paige is gone. She is not in Hell's Kitchen. She is not in New York. So probably her role might have ended for the whole season. Yeah, she might come back in various ways, but again the thing is that they brought Foggy's character and they brought Karen's character in this season, but they also put them aside in the first 20-25 minutes. So whatever the plan was earlier, the original plan was for Daredevil, they are still in line with that, I think so, but they have still given fans some joy and then taken it away in some sense. Anyways, let's move on to the next point. So there is a gap shown of 1 year. Both Karen are doing good and Matt Murdock is doing good. Matt Murdock has this different allies now. He has this business partner. He has this law firm partner. Her name is McGuffin, I think. I'm sorry I didn't write it down, but yeah, I think it's McGuffin. So she's there. She sets him up with a different girl. Her name is Heather. She's good, and she's very interesting as well, because there are 2 people that she meets, in fact 3 people that she meets, which are going to be very interesting. First is of course Fisk, his wife Vanessa, and the third guy was this guy who was in Wednesday. Now this guy is definitely going to play a major character in this show. Now who that character might be, I don't know, but yeah, he is destined to play some of the bigger characters of the show. And the fact that he is connected to Heather, now that will bring in some personal stakes for Matt Murdock as well, because Matt Murdock's girlfriend is Heather, and of course there will be some personal stakes attached to it. So I don't think Heather's future looks bright in this show. I think she's going to die eventually, but yeah, there's going to be some personal angle there as well. Now the reason why Fisk and Vanessa is having this marital problems is because Wilson Fisk just abandoned her and Vanessa took over of all the business. Now we know what happened to Wilson Fisk in the meantime, where other things were happening before he became the mayor. He was shown in Echo, he was shown in Hawkeye. In Hawkeye we see he gets shot in his eye, then he goes into the series Echo, where he kind of has that healing moment. And also now we can see that even he says that he is kind of a changed man, but we know he's not truly, and Matt Murdock also knows that, which takes me to the conversation between Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk. Now that was a very good conversation. The plan of Kingpin is quite clear. He wants to get rid of all the vigilantes. He also mentions Spider-Man though, that spider guy, or a guy dressed in spider costume, something like that. He says something like that. But yeah, Spider-Man was mentioned, and yeah. But let me talk about that conversation that they had. It was very interesting because both are like, again, they know what the other personality is like, so therefore they kind of make an agreement at the end that if Wilson Fisk steps out of line, Daredevil will be back. And Daredevil and the people like Daredevil, that means vigilantes, Wilson Fisk wants to get rid of all the vigilantes. So that's going to be a pretty interesting dynamic once again. But the end of the first episode was classy. Really, really classy. That face off, we see a new mayor now. Wilson Fisk is now mayor, and that, that power dynamics is also shown, that now he is legally the or politically the bigger guy, Wilson Fisk, and Matt Murdock was at the bottom, he was looking up to him. So that, that cinematically was also quite nice. So yeah, the first episode end was pretty good. But then we move on to the second episode. There are some different characters shown here as well, like the Daniel Blake character. But I think there could be a bit of a sinister plan from Daniel Blake's side, because he was quite easily, he got very easily into the inner circle of Wilson Fisk, into that inner circle of that campaign. So there could be a hidden agenda there, which we have to see. Then we have Heather, then we have White Tiger. The second episode started with White Tiger, and yeah, we also got that BB girl, the girl which runs the channel BB, and her uncle was Ben Urich. And if you remember how Ben Urich died in the Netflix version, this line where Wilson Fisk says that I knew your uncle, that will hit you very, very hard if you remember how brutally Wilson Fisk killed Ben Urich. And now we have to talk about the final 5 minutes of the second episode. That was classy. Not classy, but that was brutally classy. Matt Murdock finally unleashing hell-breaking, bones-twisting bones, and it did look like he killed someone or both of these guys, but I hope that's not the thing. But we'll see how that unfolds. But yeah, the last 5 episodes were amazing, really, really good. But yeah, it's going to be interesting where this show goes now. First 2 episodes, obviously very good. We have this different characters filling in the place of the older characters. The older characters are now pushed aside, and to be honest, I didn't expect them to be pushed aside. But anyways, we have what we have, and MCU is back. So watch this space for the next episode as well. We'll be discussing about every episode of Daredevil Born Again, and share your thoughts in the comment section as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching.